So we get a lot of pitches for security camera reviews here at Make Use Of, and most of them I really just say no to. Oh, it's another 1080p wireless security cam, oh how nice. So why then did I say yes to this? The Yeskamo floodlight security camera and monitor kit. So first and foremost, because it includes a 7-inch monitor from which you can keep a constant eye on your cameras. This is a feature typically reserved for higher end network video recorders, which will have a HDMI or VGA out to connect your own monitor into. However, with this, it's included and it's built in and it's all in one. In addition, there's literally zero setup out of the box. If you don't want to add your own Wi-Fi network in order to watch the feeds on your mobile phone, if you just want to use it locally on this monitor, watch and record everything on this device, you can do it without any extra setup. Just plug in the cameras, plug in the base station and everything works. Secondly, the cameras themselves aren't just cameras, they also act as security floodlights. Now obviously it's not a blindingly bright floodlight, there's like 8 or so LEDs on the front of it, but it will act in the same way as a deterrent that notices when there's motion and instantly activates that light. I'm James Bruce, you're watching MakeUseOf.com reviews. Join me as we take a closer look at the Yeskamo 7-inch touchscreen monitor and floodlight security cameras kit. So in the box, you'll find 3 power adapters, 2 security cameras, 1 monitor touchscreen, and a handful of mounting gubbins, as well as warning stickers, Ethernet port weatherproof covers, and curiously 2 mini screwdrivers. Now you'll want to be slightly careful when plugging in the DC adapters to the devices themselves, because one of them operates on 5 volts, that's for the monitor, and the other 2 operate on 12 volts, those are for the cameras. However, they do have different size plugs, so you'd have to be a bit of an idiot to plug them in the wrong way. Now, the only thing not included in this package is a micro SD card to slot into the base station. So the cameras themselves appear to be generic models used in other Yeskamo sets or standalone, given that they have an Ethernet port which isn't used in this kit, and a micro SD card slot on the cameras themselves, which again isn't used because you'll be recording to the base station. As I said, setup is non-existent. It's definitely one of the standout features of this device. You literally just plug it in and yep, that's it. You just plug it in. They come pre-paired with the base station, so there's no additional setup required. Once they're plugged in, you'll see the feed immediately on the monitor, and that's it. Now you can then go ahead and add your Wi-Fi details if you want to access the camera feeds from your app and receive notifications. However, you don't need to do that, and to be honest, I wouldn't even bother. Now the cameras are IP66 weatherproof, so they should withstand rain and snow just fine. However, don't submerge them in water. As a bullet style camera, they will however need to be mounted somewhere. They can't simply be placed upon a shelf or on a table to be used inside. While you can use them inside your home, they will need to be on your wall. You're also limited by the fact that they do need to be plugged into the included 12 volt DC adapters. They don't run off solar power, they're not wireless, they don't have a battery, they will need to be plugged in at all times, so you will need to be located somewhat close to a power socket, and you may need to drill holes in order to run that wire somewhere inside. So by default, out of the box, you're going to get a piercingly loud alarm on the cameras, as well as a floodlight activating when it's dark whenever it detects motion. Now, because these cameras have an actual PIR motion sensor, it's not using a visual algorithm from the camera feed. It's actually detecting infrared, then the motion sensing of the cameras is pretty reliable. You can of course disable the alarm or set it up to only go off on a certain schedule, and any motion detected will be recorded to the SD card on the base station, assuming of course that you still have reception to the camera. Sadly, the Yeskamo app is best described as absolutely terrible. The only redeeming feature about it is that when you open the app, you're not forced to create a login in order just to use anything. You can just bypass the registration completely and use it locally. However, I wouldn't bother. It's all fairly easy to set up. Once you're in the app, you just add a new device. It'll automatically detect it, assuming it's had your Wi-Fi details added and it's on the network. But beyond that, it gets a bit utterly frustrating. Click through to your own camera system and you'll see that you have the option to pan tilt the cameras. even though the cameras don't actually support that, so it won't do anything. And viewing past events is tedious and just mostly broken, I found. It was very difficult to scroll through the timeline, and I couldn't just get a list of events like any other competent app would offer. It all just feels a bit rubbish, with bad English, grammar errors, and very little thought put into the usability overall. So my advice then would really just be to forget the app and look at this as an all-in-one standalone system with the monitor. And in that regard, it's actually pretty good. In terms of Google Home and Alexa support, well, there isn't any. Although having said that, you do have the monitor all the time, so you probably aren't likely to want to call it up on a separate Home Hub screen. If that's what you're looking for, look elsewhere. On top of that, there's no Ethernet port on the base station. So if you wanted to plug it into your router to get better connection, well, you're not going to. Whenever using the mobile app, you are always going to get an inherent delay from having to go over your Wi-Fi, then the Wi-Fi from the base station to the camera itself. It would also be remiss of me to not mention that this device suffers from the same inherent limitations of Wi-Fi as the Anker Eufy Cam E device that I reviewed a week ago. And by that I mean the range of the Wi-Fi is pretty limited. If anything, it's actually worse than the Eufy Cam E was, despite having these external antennas on the base station. So briefly, because the base station broadcasts its own private Wi-Fi signal upon which the cameras operate, it doesn't interfere with your own home Wi-Fi at all. You can set the channel to be non-overlapping, so this would be on, say, channel 9, your home Wi-Fi would be on channel 3 or 4, and they wouldn't overlap at all. So there is that benefit. However, you're also suffering from the same range limitations that you would have in an underpowered Wi-Fi router, in that the range is not very far. So in my testing, the best range I could get was about 20 to 30 meters with a clear line of sight outdoors. And that was with only a pane of double glazed glass in the way. So that's really not great, and it is going to limit the ultimate application of what you can use this for. Now, your experience may vary. It could have been the strength of my own Wi-Fi that was overpowering this one. I'm not sure, but again, like I said, I got better range from the Eufy Cam E. In the average family home, you're probably not going to have that much of an issue. Wood and drywall alone doesn't present massive problems for Wi-Fi. It's only once you start to get to brick and stone walls that it really stops the signal. But it's just something to bear in mind. If you were hoping to cover a really large area, this probably isn't going to work for you. In addition, as I mentioned, because it needs power at all times, you'll need to be close to a power socket, which will also limit where you can place the cameras. So this is unlike, say, the Eufy Cam E that I reviewed last week, or the solar-powered Reolink devices that I've reviewed before, which can be placed anywhere. However, the trade-off on that is if you've got a battery-powered or solar-powered device, then you won't be able to view the feed 24/7. With this, because it's plugged into power, you can have it showing all the time on the monitor. So should you buy the Yeskamo 2 floodlight security cams and monitor system? Yes, if you have a small home or office that you need to keep an eye on all the time. It's a great all-in-one standalone device with very little setup required to get it up and running. You get that added deterrent of having an actual floodlight on the cameras themselves, which most security cameras don't have. And you have more reliable motion detection thanks to the PIR sensors in the cameras. It is, of course, always better to deter potential thieves in the first place rather than having to rely on getting that footage after the event has happened and you've lost whatever property. Do buy it if you're looking for a zero setup all-in-one system that allows you to just pop this monitor on your desk and keep an eye on the cameras at all times. Up to 4 cameras are supported by this device, with 2 in the set and additional cameras available. If you want to check for recorded events, doing that from the device itself is very easy, though as I said, trying to do it from the app is significantly less easy. Don't buy it if you have a very large house to cover that's predominantly made of bricks and stone. The Wi-Fi reception is not all that good, and you're not going to get much of a range to place the monitor and cameras ideally. Don't buy if you're looking for something that supports Google Home and Alexa, or that has a competent app to review previous recordings. The app for the Eskamo system is best left alone. Also, don't buy it if you're against drilling holes in the wall to run power cables through, or if you're looking for something completely wireless, powered by battery or solar power. You will need to power these from the included AC power adapters. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this has told you everything you need to know about the Yeskamo floodlight security camera system. You should also have seen some sample footage both from day and night that was captured on these cameras to give you an idea of quality. Hit me up in the comments if you still have questions or feedback about this review, and if you did appreciate it, please consider hitting like and subscribing. We do 2 reviews and giveaways every single week where we give away the coolest, latest gadgets to our loyal fans and readers, as well as the occasional technology tips, tricks, and tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. That probably means you know we have a giveaway going on for one of these Yeskamo 2 floodlight security camera and monitor setups. To enter the competition, simply click on the link in the description over at the fullmakeuseof.com website. There you'll find a competition widget at the end of the review. Pop your details in there and enter the code NOCAMO for bonus entries in the competition. Entries close in about 3 weeks, and be sure to add competitions@makeuseof.com to your address book so you don't miss our email if you win. Good luck, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay tuned.